guys, and welcome to our YouTube channel. It's Somi and
Simelelo Kapolitina.
Yebo.
And yeah, what are we talking about today?
So today we thought we'd come to you guys and we would share some of our pet peeves, some of the things that people do. You might be guilty of these things, and if you are, it's the opportunity to learn and unlearn these things. So these are our pet peeves when it comes to people.
How people treat or behave around people with physical disabilities.
I think more behave, how people behave around people with physical disabilities. Now we're not going to cover all disabilities because we know most there's a spectrum, but we're going to speak directly to disabilities like
physical disabilities,
like a person in a wheelchair.
Why are we talking on top of each other?
I've got no idea.
Yeah, no, I think we're just excited to share this educational piece with people.
I can go.
Entertain and educate.
I was like,
that's where we are.
So babes, let's go for it. Now guys, we've written them down, I've got them down right over here, so I'm gonna keep on reading them out and then we'll explain them.
Alright. Something that I also want to mention up front is that we understand that people sometimes when they do these things, it's not because they are being mean. Some people mean well, but because of how we've been socialized, I mean, we grew up around some of the stereotypes around people with disabilities, so it does have an impact on how we behave
around people with disabilities. I think also for us also, if I hadn't known you and I had to come across a person who's in a wheelchair and it's my first encounter with a person who's in a wheelchair, I'd probably be guilty of some of these things.
Yeah, true.
So this is not to bash anyone, but rather to educate so that we can
be better people.
We can be better people when it comes to people with disabilities.
Alright, let's shoot straight, madam.
Alright.
What's the first one?
So the first one is people in wheelchairs should be seen and not heard.
I think that's like the biggest, most dangerous stereotype, and it affects a whole lot of spheres of our lives as people that are living with disabilities. It's like people don't expect much out of you. It's like
the expectations are low.
They become very low, and that's why people become so surprised when you actually tell them that you're working. You're holding a job, and actually
a decent job.
And you educated. It becomes a shock.
It does become a shock. And also I think Msimelelo, over the years, his CV will end up at a recruitment agency and they would call him up like, hey, are you still in the job market? We've got a position that's suitable for you. And then when he finds out what the position is, it's like telemarketing positions,
admin
jobs or something like that. And now not because admin or telemarketing is less than, but because it didn't study telemarketing or marketing or
look,
admin.
I actually challenge anyone now to look up jobs and disability on Google or on the search engines, and you'd find that most jobs that are advertised for people with disabilities, it's mostly call center jobs and admin jobs. That's just the reality of it. And as much as there's this drive from our government to employ people living with disabilities,
it hardly ever happens.
No, let's not talk politics.
Oh, I'm not addressing issues now. Okay,
we'll shoot another episode for that. But you'd find that the positions that they designate for people living with disabilities are what they deem to be the things people are capable of. Which is mostly admin. And answering telephones.
Number two.
What's the next one?
Number two, talking. This is one of the things I hate. When
wait.
What?
Are you gonna talk about my worst one?
This is your worst one. This is his worst one. Now, when we're out at the restaurant or at the mall, and you'll find at the doctors, at the hospital, wherever, you'd find people talk to him through me. So like instead of talking directly to him, they would talk to me like, ma'am, how does sir want his steak?
is the most
and I'm like, he's sitting right over there.
ever.
You can ask him. Yeah, so it happens quite a lot. And I think people need to be mindful, man, that when you see someone with a disability, don't just assume, akakwazi uthetha or akakwazi uziphendulela or they can't stand up for themselves or answer for themselves.
The wheelchair is not equivalent to being incapacitated.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. We find this also happens at hospitals. That's the one thing that surprised us.
When medical professionals do it, when nurses ask Somi for my symptoms and my medical history, I'm like, I'm the one that just reported not feeling well. Why are you not asking me directly? And I would get so cheesed off that I think a couple of times I have lost my patience.
Yeah, you have. So that's another thing, guys. Number 3. Number 3 is these so-called wheelchair-friendly establishments.
I think that is one concept that is still lost on many people. What do we mean by a wheelchair-friendly establishment? An establishment that a person in a wheelchair can fully access.
Yeah.
Now you find that they jump at it. No, we're wheelchair-friendly. We've got a ramp in front. You can come in nicely.
And these are hotels. These are some of the hotels we've been to where we'd call in just to make sure, but okay, we want to book a room or whatever. Are you guys wheelchair accessible? Yes, we are, ma'am. We're wheelchair accessible.
And Shem, they would go as far as taking a picture for us of the ramp. We're like, okay, it's not bad. The gradient is not so bad. So definitely. Yeah. And we get there, and what happens?
We get, first of all, you can access the building. You can come inside the building. And then you come in, you're at the reception area. And then if you need to go to your room, which is probably maybe a floor up or whatever, there's stairs. And you're thinking, where's the lift?
Remember the one we went to that it just didn't have stairs, it had curvaceous stairs. And this lady had the nerve to say, no, don't worry, we'll help him up the stairs. I'm like...
Yeah. So it's not just hotels. We've been to... Hey,
look, I would go to offices.
You worked at an office for government that was
remember we are addressing government in a different episode.
Oh, okay, government of my episode. Yeah,
I can just special.
Naleas Home Affairs, I can't mention it.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, we'll mention it another time. Guys, the Home Affairs one had me livid. I was mad. I need to address this one.
I've never seen you that angry.
I was mad. I was mad. So what had happened at Home Affairs, after we got married, we decided, okay, I need to go change my ID because I need to change my surname. And while I'm at that, he's also going to get the new smart, what is it, smart card ID?
Smart card ID, yeah.
Hey guys, fine, the building in itself, you can access the building at Home Affairs. That was
fully
fine.
Accessible.
It was fully accessible. There's this photo booth. What?
Fully accessible. Let's not use that. It was accessible.
Okay, it was accessible to a certain extent. There's this photo booth that you have to sit in, and then obviously they take your picture for the ID. This thing is like, it's a small container thing that you have to sit in. Now we get there and we tell the guy, Umsimulelo is not going to be able to go in this photo booth.
Is there any way the camera can be taken out so that I can take a picture?
So that you can take a picture, even if it's against like a blank wall, a white wall. Yo, guys, Home Affairs came to a standstill because they don't know how to take out the camera. I don't know what the excuse was.
There is no other camera that can be used, that can be linked to this system. Their excuse was that camera is linked to a system, so they can't take it out, and there's no other camera that can be used. So basically, their solution was what?
They wanted...
In fact...
Babes, this is where I lost it, guys. Okay, so the guy who's in the photo booth, I'm sure he's just doing his job. So he's like, no, there's nothing I can do, blah 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 blah. So I'm sure the managers and whatever.
Yes.
Then what was the mama? I don't know what her position was.
Yeah, but she was quite senior.
She had a senior position, like senior position, because when she came down, Mungumdu was just like on their best behavior. So she comes down and she's like, oh, okay, I see your problem. All right, and what we can do is we can call the 2 security guards outside.
And actually call them.
She called the security guards. I'm like, you can call the security guards outside and then they can lift him up and put him in the booth.
I'm like, am I a sack of potatoes?
Okay, you didn't say that bit.
I thought it.
You thought it, you didn't say it. I was the one who was like, for some reason this guy was so calm that day.
And the reason why I was calm, I was shocked by how angry she was.
I was angry. I'm like, ma, I'm really not understanding what you're saying. Uthi makaphakanyiswe zi-security zimbeke inside that photo booth. This is part of his mobility. What the?
A bunch of strangers picking you up.
Picking you up and then just placing you there, and then they're just gonna plonk you back in your wheelchair. I was so mad. I was mad. And then she apologized. Oh, and then we went on to the next part where she said we must go do the fingerprints. Into your fingerprints, guys, ipa phezulu. You know that thing that they use at the bank where you have to put your finger? It was up there. And we're like, okay, the counter is up there. Umsimelo is down here.
And no one has a solution on how to bring that thing down or how to get one that's mobile.
That was back in 2014. We got married in 2014. Till this day, what was our phone neighbor? So they sent us back home and they said they apologized. And then they said, okay, we'll call you. We're going to have to raise this in our meeting and we'll call you.
So we're assuming the meeting isn't set yet.
Yeah.
And I'm still walking around
6 years later
with my dumbass.
He still has his green ID card, and obviously the meeting probably hasn't set yet. So yeah, that's another one.
Sure.
What's the next one?
What's the next one?
Pushing the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, this is people that mean well.
Yeah.
And this doesn't piss me off as much, but you know, the wheelchair is part of my personal space.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would arrive at a place, or I would get off my vehicle and you get like a parking attendant or a security come and push my wheelchair.
Yeah.
One, this is a mobile wheelchair, I can move it myself.
Don't say it's a mobile wheelchair, rather say it's like
it's a motorized wheelchair, I can move it myself. So it doesn't require manual labor for it to move.
Yeah.
But I understand that those people mean well, but you don't just come and touch someone's wheelchair. It's like...
Okay, it's not even about coming and touching. It's more like coming and just pushing me around. This is my mobility. Like, this is what I use to move around.
Imagine if I jumped
and lift you up and go and put you and place you wherever I assume you're going. Yeah, but I think the best way to approach this one is to ask the person in the wheelchair.
It's very important before you offer any help to a person that has a physical disability. Ask.
Yeah, because some of the times people are capable of moving around by themselves, and they've got their own assistants to help them
and sometimes even with people that can push themselves, they prefer that.
Yeah, because sometimes it's safer also. It's safer.
Because you know how to maneuver your own wheelchair. Right.
Number 5. Okay, this one. I don't know. Staring. People stay, guys.
People stay, and sometimes.
I mean, it doesn't get to me anymore, ne? But it surprised me because I think I noticed the staring. Maybe you got used to it when I
got used to it a long time ago. I mean, I had practiced growing up.
What practice?
No, I grew up looking different, so people would always stare at me with the burn marks. So I was used to it. But sometimes people stare so long that you think to yourself, snap out of it. And especially old people, like
well, that's where I was going. Guys, the ones when I noticed the staring, I was like, oh, okay. But I was more surprised by the grown folk that do this. It's grown-ups that do the staring, you know. Hey, abantu abangomama, like omama bethu no tata bethu, guys, they stay. Hey, abantu abangodada bona bawes,
with their mouths hanging.
And they'd be like walking, and still usajongile, and you're thinking to yourself, hey, lo tata. Ayini, guys, it's embarrassing.
And
it's embarrassing.
it's rude.
It's
for
rude.
one.
It's rude.
And two.
You know what? When you feel like you and then look away. It don't be like on time, but there's another one, staring. It's when the adults do it, I feel it's rude.
Yeah, you should know better.
Adults should know better. But when children do it, we've noticed a lot of times that parents will, they'll scold the child like, hey, you know, that make the child feel frightened for looking.
Especially like little ones.
Little ones, yeah. I mean, kids are curious by nature.
True.
But curious, true. I think that's your opportunity as a parent to educate your child. That my child, my boy, my girl, other people look different, and it's okay. You don't need to stay. Yeah, but people
because they would shout at their children and them like spotted this ball.
Okay, they're looking at something that is like forbidden. You're not supposed to be looking at that. Yeah, but I think that's an opportunity for parents to teach their kids that when you see someone different, don't stay. Yeah, you can look, but don't stay. You know.
Yeah.
Where are we, babes?
We're on the next one, yo.
And
Utakazi sisigle. This is a common stereotype that people living with physical disabilities are non-sexual beings.
I didn't couple it up, but it's a stereotype. You're not stating a fact.
Wait, I'm saying it's a stereotype that I don't know how it even got perpetuated. So the stereotype is, can I read it the way it's written here?
Yeah.
That people living with physical disabilities are non-sexual beings. Like guys, people would ask me ridiculous questions that I can't repeat on this platform. But for the record, I think that love has answered your questions.
Okay, guys, we move to the next one. That's because I phone part of this one. When I went to Masipal, it was a stereotype.
Guys, on a serious note, don't ask people stupid questions.
Guys,
people living with physical disabilities have feelings like everyone else, and yes, guys, sick away.
Hey man, baby, come me, guys. It's a move up. Number 7. You come. Number 7.
All right, the next one.
The next one. My biggest pet peeve, guys. Biggest one that I have.
If you want to make it more angrier than the home affairs scenario, this is the one.
The biggest one that I have, it's when people think I am Simedelo's daughter.
I'm not sure whether it's the wheelchair that makes
I think it's the wheelchair that they assume that you're old, ne? But Sana, daughter. I'm talking about sister, daughter. I'm not even gonna address it.
I know this actually ruined one of our dates when you remember when we went out and I'm not sure it was the waitress or the restaurant owner that assumed you were my daughter.
Hey, it's enough to ruin my day.
Yeah. No, Siswaka was not happy.
Daughter. And Kalobu, can you imagine? Excuse me, he's not my daughter. I mean, he's not my father. He's my husband.
And you actually say it in that tone.
Yeah, I do, because I'm annoyed already. Like, he's my husband. He's not my father. Jeez.
And they probably think sugar daddy.
Look, that's the next thing that they think, obviously, but sugar daddy. Now, guys, it's only 5 years, the gap. 5 years.
I addressed this in one of the videos. It's not that big, guys. Just 5 years.
Anyway, so
and the one that we've listed is our last one here.
Our last one, is okay. Let's just address this one.
No, this one is just annoying.
It's annoying, guys, and it's inconsiderate. I know, Bana, a lot of people are guilty of this one because Yeah.
Guys, when you go to the mall or you go to any public facility and you think to yourself, I need to use the loo.
Yeah.
And you run towards the facilities, the toilets. And there's one right next to male, female, that is a sign of a wheelchair. That's not your one.
Unless you're in a wheelchair.
Unless you're in a wheelchair. Do you know how many times I would go and have to wait and wait and wait because this is the only one that's available that I can use. And guess who comes out? Able-bodied George. Just walking his way out of that toilet like he
didn't just do something wrong. Like he didn't just, because I mean there's toilets that able-bodied people can use. We have a whole lot of toilets that we can use.
Scattered all around the world.
And then there's probably one toilet that's used for people with disabilities. And if someone is selfish enough to use that toilet, it means the person with a disability can't use the loo. God has the toilet in Nancy. Alright? So yeah, that one, I mean, it's inconsiderate.
Yeah, it's inconsiderate. It's annoying.
The very last one, okay, is parking bays. Ooh.
You see, this one can actually turn Umsimalelo into a mini. I've had several occasions where I've parked guys in, where you'd arrive and you see the person is able-bodied, and as you are approaching the parking,
even if you ask
them that, dude, this is the only parking I can use, and the reason why I can only use that parking is because it's the one that's wide enough for me to pull out my ramps and be able to get out of the vehicle. And
without scratching anybody else's car.
And some people will just flip you off and walk away. I've had on several occasions parked my car behind them, told my driver to lock it, and we go into the mall and we just leave it there. And you will wait until I come back. You inconsiderate idiot.
Nana.
Okay, I'm getting angry.
Nana.
I think I'm reliving one of the moments.
Yeah, no, it's very inconsiderate. And the reason why those parking bays are there closer to the door, it's not because we're now you know. It's closer to the door because you have to be considerate of people with disabilities.
Yeah, and think about it this way. It's the only thing I've got.
Wow, Nana. Wow, how dramatic are you now? Gee.
I don't have legs, but parking is the only thing I have.
Wow, I'm a drama guys. So anyway, I think we've covered.
Yeah, we've covered
the
ones. Yeah, the ones that have affected us the most. I'm sure there are many, but I think the most important thing, think before you act.
Yeah.
Think before
just
you
be
act.
more considerate.
Be human.
Yeah.
Be considerate. And know that people living with disabilities are also human beings with feelings that can get hurt just like your feelings.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, my love, on this educational piece we've just done?
No, there's nothing else, guys. That's about it from us, and we.
Yes, I was just gonna add one more thing. So, if you've got a scenario in your head that you feel you're not sure about whether
how to deal with
it, what's the proper etiquette, please drop it here in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to address them. I'll run a few workshops on disability awareness and proper etiquette and stereotypes and stuff like that. And
maybe another thing that we didn't address also, it's the terms that people use. Like there are derogatory terms that people still use when referring to people with disabilities. Like terms, they make me cringe. Terms like a cripple.
One would even think something like the disabled is okay.
The disabled.
It's not.
It's people with a
people
living with a disability.
Yo, we could go on all day. I just think that one is just...
Yeah, there's too much to unpack for that one. But like also be considerate of the terms that you use. Sometimes amagama, we pick them up and we think that, okay, it's okay to use words like that, like cripple and handicap. And
islima.
Yeah, islima, those things, they're not okay, guys. They're really not okay. And if you're not sure, ask.
And especially if you use those around children.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
they
the children pick those
and
things
they'll
up.
go and repeat them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Sometimes in front of his lima.
And it will be embarrassing for the parent. So yeah, let's just be more considerate, guys. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And please, guys, we can see that our subscribers are growing.
Oh, thank
slowly
you,
but
thank
surely.
you,
And we are
thank you
so
very
grateful.
much.
And we read your comments, guys. We're so grateful for the comments. And we're gonna try our best to speak English, because I know a lot of people that watch us, some of them are not Xhosa. We try, guys. It's not
easy. But sometimes this English,
it
just keeps us.
It's not easy. So guys, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for showing us all this love in the comment section. Please just like, comment and subscribe, and please share if you feel this is going to be relevant for anyone else. And also emsebenzini wakho, in your workplace, if you work with people with disabilities, you can always kind of like take a few things from here just to go and share emsebenzini of how you guys can better be able to accommodate that person with a disability. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, and that's it from us.
Yes, Somi signing out.